let's take a look at our top selections for Dan Illman, Mike Beer. Let's kick off the 20-cent Rainbow Pick 6 at Gulfstream Park on Fountain of Youth Saturday with graded stakes action. Race number 9 is this race. Throw up the field for the Grade 2 Gulfstream Park Mile. It's a one-turn mile for some really nice older horses, and Performer, the number 4, is always hinted at stardom. 6 for 8 lifetime, won the Hooper, the prep race for this in a squeaker. Lots of folks are thinking he's going to take a big step forward.
Yeah, I mean, it'd be nice to see him take a big step forward. I guess you wouldn't say he was that impressive in the Hooper, Dan, but he did get it done. I thought overall he ran fine. I'm actually a little surprised that he's back for another one-turn miler. I thought Shug would stretch him out.
Let's throw up the Timeform US pace projector for this race. Wind of Change, the 7's a stretch-out sprinter. He should be able to make the lead. Whether he's good enough to win this race, I'm not sure. Doesn't that put the number 2 Tax in just a lovely position if this pace projector comes true, sitting second off a horse that might be 30-1, ready to pounce? This horse has plenty of races good enough to win. But I have 2 questions for you. A, what do you think of the blinkers going on after kind of a dull performance in the Pegasus World Cup? And B, his 2 races without Lasix, both in the Pegasus World Cup, were bad.
Yeah, they're not good. The blinkers going on, I don't know what to think of that. You know, as far as I'm concerned, an equipment change like that is never a great thing, but I doubt it makes that much of a difference. And listen, this is a horse who can win the race. It's interesting that they're cutting him back for this, Dan, because they've really kept this horse going longer distances and around 2 turns throughout his entire career.
That's a very good point. This is the first one-turn race the Tex has run since his career debut back in 2018. Good tactical speed, good horse. I trust Danny Gargan. The 3 is Eye of a Jedi, and Eye of a Jedi is in excellent form right now for local connections. I think I got a very nice ride last time out in the Hooper, went second to Performer. Let's actually throw that video up. Performer and Eye of a Jedi finished necks apart in the Grade 3 Fred Hooper. Performer is the horse on the outside in the Cherry Red. Eye of a Jedi got a great ride. Saved ground, moved inside of Performer on the turn, kind of forced Performer to take the outside route, split horses. I need Eye of a Jedi here, but Mike, the force was not with me.
No, he ran well, though. Listen, Performer's just a little bit too good for him. And then at the end of the day, you know, Performer, it's not an impressive win, but he did a lot of good things there, I thought, Dan, because he did bobble at the start of the race. He left the rail open for Eye of a Jedi to let that horse get the run to his inside. He still outfinished him. Eye of the Jedi is in very good form. You have to start to wonder now, though, what does he have to do to turn the tables?
I also thought that Joel Rosario rode Performer with a lot of confidence, like almost as if he always knew he had these horses on the turn. And then maybe he was a bit surprised that he had to work a bit at the end. My feeling of the race is I'm a fan of Eye of a Jedi like you. I wonder if that was his absolute best. And I think Performer might have a little bit more upside. Performer, obviously the horse to beat. He does have some tactical speed. 2-1 on the morning line for Shug McGahee, who could be in line for a very big day. He's got greatest honor in the Fountain of Youth. To me, I think the key to this race is the 5 Fearless, who began his career with 2 wins at Gulfstream for Todd Pletcher, looking like another Pletcher star, close to the pace in those races. And then they ran him in a stakes race at the fairgrounds. He didn't run very well, and his speed disappeared. I don't know what has happened. I haven't seen this in a long time, because you watch the Stephen Foster, his last start. This horse was as sluggish early as you will see from a horse.
Yeah, that's very true. And it's a good point that you bring up, because he did have speed early on. They brought him to that New Orleans Classic at Fairgrounds, Dan. He actually ran pretty well there with I think one of those famous bad rides in there. He just was never in the right spot in that race, and actually ran better than it looks. And since then, his speed is gone. And when you watch any one of those last 3 races too, I mean, he's just so far behind, like he can't keep up. He's almost like a horse who wants to go 2 miles. He's running at the end of those races, but in the case of the Foster, it was way too late. Boy, coming back at a one-turn mile off of this layoff, where is this horse going to be early if he hasn't refound his speed?
Well, he's likely going to be last. He's obviously had his share of issues. He is a 5-year-old, making only his 7th lifetime start, coming off of an 8th-month layoff. With Pletcher, you generally don't worry about layoffs, and I wonder if getting back to Gulfstream sort of sparks this horse a little bit. He's going to have to be closer to the pace. I think he'll kick and run well. Avant-Garde is the number 6. We saw him finish 3rd in the Hooper. I thought he got a nice ride, Mike. He was able to save some ground on the turn, came through on the inside, ran a little better than expected. Horse is in very good form and obviously loves Gulfstream.
Yeah, I thought he ran well last time. Down towards the inside, he couldn't really gain late ground on the 1-2 finishers, but I thought he ran well, and that was just another good performance for a horse who it just feels like ever since they claimed him, this horse just keeps getting better.
Wind of Change just lost all chance at the start in the Gulfstream Park Sprint. He was 5-2 against Mischievous Alex, who I think is one of the better sprinters in the country. Didn't break, and that was the end of him. When he does break, he makes the front. Whether a mile is his best game, I'm not sure, and I'm not sure he really wants to go a mile against these kind of horses.
It's a tough spot for him for sure. I do think that they'll put him on the front, though. That alone, I guess, could make him dangerous. I think a 1-turn mile is good for him, Dan. It's just all about whether he classes up.
I think these connections have done some nice things with the 8 Summer Kid. Let's watch his last race. This horse was up at Saratoga last year. He ran poorly behind eventual Jockey Club Gold Cup winner Happy Saver. I love they gave him the time to grow up and mature, and this is his 2nd start off with a layoff, and he really shows a lot of guts in the stretch to win this race.
Yeah, and he's beaten a decent horse, too, and Answerin, who was the favorite. I thought this horse ran well in here. It felt like to me that he needed the first start back off the layoff there. He got a little tired after chasing the pace. He wasn't tired in this race, though. I'm a fan of this horse. I think this horse is good. He obviously has to really improve to beat a field like this, but he's going to be a big price in here, and I'm using him.
I want to talk about a horse down towards the rail. That's the number 1, Fat Man. We haven't gotten to him yet. Fat Man was 2nd in this race last year with a gigantic Beyer speed figure. He was in really good form at the time. And like Tax, he has several races easily good enough to win this. I just think his form, this form cycle, just isn't as good. I didn't love his Harlan's Holiday. I thought he had a good trip in that race and he couldn't punch it in. And in the Hooper, he just didn't run at all.
Yeah, that was my problem with him, too. His form from last winter would actually give him a real chance in here, but he hasn't run back to those races. He was bad last time, and it was just one of those races where he never looked comfortable. He never looked like he was going to run, and he didn't run.
Let's take a look at our top picks for the Grade 2 Gulfstream Park Mile. Performers the horse to be. I'm going to take a chance with Todd here. In Todd, I trust to get some speed back into Fearless with several bullet workouts on display at Palm Beach Downs. He has some ability, Mike. He's run some fast races. I just need him to get close to the pace or else he is going to be coming from way out the back door.
Right. Yeah, you're going to know early whether he's got a chance in this race or not, because if he can keep himself in contact, I think you might be right. He has a chance to beat this field. I took Performer. I get it. I understand anybody who wasn't blown away with his Hooper last time and wants to try to beat him. I'm just going to stick with him. I thought about putting the 8 on top in this race, Dan. I'm going to use him. I just don't know if he's good enough to beat all these horses.
But I like that opinion with Summer Kid, getting him in there maybe to make the number behind Performer. 4-8-2-1 for Mike, 5-4-3-6 for me. I'm fearless in my attempt to defeat the chalk in the first leg of the 20-cent Rainbow Six. It is the Grade 2 Gulfstream Park Mile. Best of luck.